look at what this beautiful symbolism is there, and what it can mean in our lives. So today we're looking at one that's really a fascinating idea, which is that faith is a gift, not a weapon. Because I think to start out with, it's so easy when we see faith as a weaponized thing, and faith, when it's weaponized, it's a complete, to say it's a turnoff would be to make it a much smaller way of saying that than is probably necessary, because it's beyond a turnoff when we make it a weapon. Because what people see then in faith, when they're on the outside looking in, they just see it as another way of creating teams. And there's this team called the Faithful. Team Faithful has it all figured out, has it all figured out how everyone else should live, has it all figured out the way the world works, has it all figured out who are the chosen. And that's a really challenging place to be. And I think more and more, we want to see faith as just this gift. It's just this gift. We can freely offer it. We're always remembering that all of us are on this journey towards the transcendent. So whether you're Catholic or Jewish or New Church or Protestant, doesn't matter. It's this beautiful journey, and we get to share this journey together, and we're able to communicate with each other, because we're not always trying to be right. We're not weaponizing our faith. We see it as a gift, and we can stand very clearly in what that gift is for us, and very clearly in what our particular faith teaches. But it's just like offering different restaurants, a sushi restaurant that's really good, an Italian restaurant that's really good, offering what is really good out there into the world. And part of that is friends, is this challenge that we have in our time right now, that faith has been on the decline for a while. Maybe there's a little uptick right now, and that would be great. But what else is plan B? I think about that again and again. Like it was interesting yesterday noticing on Facebook that there were a number of different groups out there that were saying, are you tired of all the division? Join our group. It's about unifying together beyond on being divisive. And it's great. And I'm so glad those groups are joining. I'm probably going to join one today. And at the same time, that's what good churches have been doing for a millennium. And good synagogues, good mosques. That's what they do. They try to rise above it. They try to rise above all those divisions, and to really create this idea of faith as a gift. And what happens when we get that gift? Well, here I'm going to use something from the book Secrets of Heaven, 2927. And it's just a little line in the Old Testament, just a little line, and the line in and of itself, it's not as important as what the poetic truth of it is. And it's about Abraham, this ancient patriarch, and he buries some of his relatives, and then he's asked some people to tend the grave, and then it says Abraham rose up. And rose up, what does that mean? Well, that's our faith rising. Certain things in our life will die. That's what happens. And yet there's this part of faith, and this faith that continues to rise and rise and rise. What happens when faith rises, when faith arises? And it's three words: gladness and joy. Gladness and joy. Like, that is so beautiful, that when faith really comes to our hearts, when faith really arises in our lives, it'll be known by gladness and joy, not by a desire to be right. And it's gladness and joy and weaponizing. You see, those don't go together, but gift, gladness, and joy, those absolutely do go together. And then our worship, our worship, which is our connection with God, either formal or informal, what it has is it both has an internal to it and an external. It has a heart and it has actions. It has both. And we see these two getting woven together. If not, what we're left with, if they're separated, if it's divided, and there's our heart way over here and there's actions way over here, we're not actually living it. The kind of faith we'll create is one that's idolatry, where we'll hold an idol out there. The idol doesn't have any heart to it. It's just an idol. It's just something we hold up out there, distant from ourselves. It's not really going to inform our lives, not really lead us to creating better family relationships, better community relationships, etc. So friends, it's a simple takeaway today, which is to really think of faith, really, really see it as a gift, not as a weapon. And it's where we can offer it knowing that everybody's on their transcendent journey, and God has everybody's journey. God has everybody's journey. And how beautiful is that? and that we can really have faith that God's going to take care. And if we just live our faith as best we can, yeah, you'll attract a few people to it, because that's just, they'll see that way of life, and they'll see the gladness and joy that goes with it. And that becomes incredibly attractive. And especially in times like this, that can feel so like, and so difficult. It doesn't mean, of course, that faith is just always about gladness and joy. There's times of real challenge. There's times where we need to speak truth about something. But even that, where we really need to speak truth about something, we do it from love. And we do it, as a gift, as a way to really help someone else versus correct someone else, to give them feedback versus criticism. That's a whole sermon in and of itself. And we need to be willing to do that as well. So friends, wishing you a great day where you exercise faith as a gift, not as a weapon. So, with that, now we're going to come in for our gentle landing here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little prayer. We're going to do a little meditation. We're going to do a little blessing. And we're going to start out with a prayer bell, just to get us all in the right place, to get us breathing, and just get us in a moment of silence. So the prayer bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's flip over here. And again, feel free to leave any comments on Facebook, either today, tomorrow, anytime during the weeks, months, years ahead. And we will respond in due course. All right, let me take a little look here. Looks like we had another glitch there. My apologies, friends. We had another didn't go out there on Facebook. I see somebody just texting me right now.